Okay, so basically first I'm going to teach you squats. Yeah. So basically, the main points you're going to want to remember is when you're going down, you want to keep your weight on your heels. A lot of people are going to teach you to keep your knees behind your toes. They don't want them to go forward like that. That's not something you have to do. It's a common coaching point. I like to keep that in mind because it helps me to keep my weight behind my toes, but it's not something you have to do. But I keep that in mind. Also, you want to keep your back as straight as possible. You don't want to be bending down, and you want to keep it as upright when you're weighed down as possible. And then the last thing is going to be on your way up. You're going to want to drive forward with your hips just before you do with your legs. So your first movement is going to be driving up with your hips, which will lead into your movement on. Okay, so basically, just first without weights, just keep your hands up above your head because they're going to be up in that position. And I just want to make sure you keep your toes facing forward. You don't want them to drift out too much. They might tend to do that. So just try and keep your toes as forward as possible. And I just want you to go down, go about 90 degrees. Some exercises you'll go less, some you'll go more. Just about 90 degrees, and just focus on driving your hips forward and then pushing up like that. And just do maybe like 5 reps. So make sure you watch your toes are facing out. Make sure every time you go down, just check your toes, make sure they're facing forward, make sure they're not coming out. Really not too bad. Okay. So then you can just try a rep with the bar. So basically, just come under. Put your hands wherever you feel comfortable. I usually just go a little wider than my shoulders and just drive it up. Then I want to take just a couple of steps back. Ideally, you have a spotter, one on each side to get the weight up. Now you're just going to do the same thing you do without the weight. It's just remember to keep your back straight, which is a lot harder when you have the weight. You just want to down, keep your back as straight as possible. Drive forward with your hips and push it up. For however many reps, and just do that. Wait. Make sure you check your toes. Your toes are drifting out a bit. There you go. Good. Keep the back nice and straight. All right, nice. It's really not too bad. That's pretty good, actually. So then, there's obviously a bunch of different types of workouts you can do with a squat. You can just do a normal back squat. You can also do a front squat. You can, hold it in the front. Some people cross. Just get this more stable of a position. You can do single leg. A bunch of different things you do, but that's just a basic squat. And they all pretty much incorporate the same form and the same points. It's just a lot of different stuff you can play around, different muscle groups. So yeah, that's basically squat overview, and yeah. So that's squats. Boop.